Welcome back to the Church of Atheism Podcast. I'm Trav, along with Chris.
Ahoy.
Hey.
It's pirate speak.
Hey. We just wanted to make a quick announcement that we started a Patreon page. We plan on keeping every episode of the podcast free, but if you want to help support the show, we'll leave a link for you to go do that. And thank you ahead of time. So anyway, now that that's out of the way, what's up, Chris?
Oh, not a whole lot. Off air, I was talking about how I've been watching Lifetime movies all day. That is about what I've been doing with my time lately.
So it's been a good day.
I would say so. It's been productive, if nothing else.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, our last episode, we talked about trying to get away from talking about Trump.
Oh, yeah.
And we can't do that again.
No. No.
You probably know about it by now, the whole national anthem debate. So we're just going to talk about that today.
I was watching, oh man, today has been great because I've been watching these people with these awful Pennsylvania accents, burning their Steelers merchandise and I don't know, just saying stuff like, my love for the Steelers is over. I wish I could remember some of that, exactly what they said, because it was pretty good. It's just like that Pennsylvania accent, you gotta love it.
Yeah. The not quite city, not quite the South, not quite the Midwest.
It's so weird. It is the weirdest, I think, accent.
Yeah. It's almost Canadian, but not Canadian.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I wonder if that's how, I don't know. I was reading about accents the other day. We'll save that for a different one. But anyway.
Yeah, we'll bring that up later.
But yeah, no, I was watching all sorts of videos today of people burning their Steelers stuff. There's a great one of a guy burning his Steelers hat and jacket in his backyard, and he was holding an American flag while the national anthem played. It was insane.
Oh, Jesus.
And then he was talking about how he's been a fan since the 60s, and he's talking about how he's done with both the Steelers and the NFL. He's not going to he's not going to watch NFL ever again.
I call bullshit.
I doubt that. Yeah, I doubt that.
I ain't going to watch him next week, but I'll watch him the week after probably.
Yeah. If you took away the NFL, people in Pennsylvania and Massachusetts and New York and the whole East Coast would just
collapse.
Yeah, it would collapse.
It's true.
Well, I mean, that's the weird thing about a lot of people. Well, you got Philly fans are probably the most notorious in the country for being just fighting you and just being obnoxious.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't get that. But I mean, I get it. There's just places in the country where you got nothing going on. You work at a factory for 6 days, and then Sunday is the one, your life pretty much revolves around doing nothing but watching football on Sunday. I get why they're so rabid, but yeah, it is kind of funny.
I don't.
I don't. I mean, I get it. They just got nothing going on.
Right. I just don't. I don't get their side of it.
Yeah. I don't. I'm not into it, but I mean, yeah, these people who they're not reading books. So,
right.
Really, Sunday is all they got to do to look forward to.
Sit on the couch, drink beer, and watch football.
Yeah, I don't think that justifies whipping batteries at Santa Claus.
What?
Oh yeah, well, was that Philly? There's someone dressed as Santa. This was a while ago. I wonder if it was in the '90s, but.
Yeah.
Well, Phillies fans have been whipping batteries at people, various people for decades. But I think that was in Philly. Hopefully someone can find out and correct me if I'm wrong, or just so I could watch the video. But I remember there was someone dressed up as Santa Claus, and they
you just got pelted.
Nailed yeah, it was something. Maybe it was ice or something, but
poor Santa.
Yeah.
Can
But
you-
yeah, so
Can you imagine the kids in the stands for that, though? Like, why are they throwing stuff at Santa?
then again, like, if that's what they've been growing up around, they probably get it.
They're probably joining in on it.
Yeah, it's like how abuse gets cycled. Like, your parents abuse you. Like, your parents are shitty sports fans that throw things. Like, they probably don't know any other life.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, so the Steelers, instead of... See, I think it's just funny. Like, they did everything they could to just stay out of it. Like, no, we're just going to stay inside while you guys do the national anthem. That way, we're not accountable for anything, and oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. I just...
Yeah.
well, there was one Steeler who went to the field, and he was a former Ranger, Army Ranger.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, he's a vet, not a veterinarian.
Yeah.
Veteran.
Veterinarian.
Yeah, he was just so proud to work on animals. That he had to,
Served our country by saving cats.
yeah.
No, veteran. But yeah, and I'm okay with that. I totally support him as well. I think it's ridiculous that you can't support both sides. I understand people are upset because they don't get it. I think the actual fundamental problem with this is that people don't understand what is being protested.
Right.
Like Colin
Yeah, that's a good
Kaepernick
point.
started this. He didn't do this to protest the American flag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
how dare you disrespect the flag? That's not what's happening. Just because you think that's what it is doesn't mean it's true.
Right.
Like, he's very clearly demonstrating against the violence on black people, the fact that we're still not equal despite...
Isn't he half black? So then did he just only put, when he was sitting down for the anthem, he
Yeah.
put one knee on the ground and then, like, the white half was still up, but...
That's why it's take a knee and not take both of them. But no, I think
Yeah.
I get why people would be upset if they don't fully understand it, because a lot of people are just saying that they're protesting the flag, and that's not accurate. So
Yeah.
I can kind of see why people who are misinformed are having issue.
Which
But,
is most people who are upset.
yeah,
Probably the bulk.
I really can't believe that we have a president that would take to this issue the way he did. Like, the NFL is a private organization. It's a private business, a private company.
Yeah, and it's shitty. NFL's terrible, I think, and it's ran by shitty people. But, like you said, it's a private business. They can do what they want. They can
Right.
discipline people how they want.
So yeah, I thought it would be kind of fun to also look at some of the history of the national anthem.
Yeah.
For instance, not a lot of people realize that the melody, the musical part of the national anthem, is actually a British drinking song.
Yeah, which I didn't know until you sent me the thing, and I was reading about that. Yeah, it's like, which, considering that they were our number one enemy at that time,
Right.
that is extremely unpatriotic.
I can't pronounce it. It's Anacreonic Society.
I was going to ask you how the hell to pronounce that.
I think I'm going to go with Anacreonic. I'm not sure if that's correct, but
It was like a musicians club, wasn't it?
yeah, it's like a popular gentleman's club of amateur musicians in London. And the song is
Actually,
about
sounds
drinking and
pretty
having
awesome.
sex. So our national anthem is written by Brits who were singing about
Yeah.
drinking and fucking.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I was going to say, and then leave it to other people to turn it into the most boring goddamn song ever.
Yeah, Francis Scott Key wrote the lyrics that originated from his poem Defense of Fort McHenry, and then he uploaded it to YouTube, and then it got famous. I think that's the full history.
Well, he also had a YouTube channel where he reviewed supernatural episodes, but that didn't go over too well.
No, I remember I watched a couple of them. They weren't that great.
Yeah, I mean, I never saw Supernatural, so I'm sure if I did, I'd probably give his YouTube channel a chance, but
Right.
that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I didn't realize that it actually didn't become the national anthem until I believe it was like 1921. I think it was. I believe during Woodrow Wilson's presidency. I think Woodrow Wilson was the guy that officially decided that we needed, or that was the anthem. And then there was, for like about 100 years, there was like a debate of what the real national anthem was. Like, My Country 'Tis of Thee, which I think is the superior song among the two. But that was considered the national anthem by some. I think the Star Spangled Banner, I believe, the Navy, like that was their official song. I think they're the first ones to adopt it, and then it kind of caught on from there.
Right.
And then, what was I going to say?
Yeah, you're right. The Navy officially used it in 1889, and it was made the national anthem by a congressional resolution on March 3rd, 1931.
Oh, 31, 20. That was close. See, this is what, like, watching all these bad Lifetime movies is, like, really improving my memory.
Did you want to talk about the one you just watched?
We might have to. Oh, it's on right now. I can see what's going on. I'll just periodically update, see what's going on. For the listeners at home, this one's about, it's called The Choking Game, and it's about, like, this girl. I think they're in high school because they're talking about college applications and stuff. So this chick, she starts hanging out with the cool kids at school, and then, like, they're talking about how they don't smoke weed because, like, I don't know, it makes them paranoid, and they just want to eat snacks or something. And they don't drink, because as they were saying, like, have you ever gone to a party and you see how the drunk girls act? They think they're cool, they think they look good, and they just say stupid stuff. So these girls, they do the thing where they, like, close each other's airways or some shit, and then they pass out, and that's how they get high. And like, no one does that. Yeah, it's pretty metal.
Yeah.
It's
natural.
Yeah.
It's a natural.
That's what they were saying. Is that, like, what sold it on me, which is why I'm going to try this when I get off work, because I got to go to work. I don't want to get too messed up beforehand, you know. Right. No, they were saying how, like, what happens when you hold your breath, which is you'll just pass out, and then you'll lay on the ground and you'll start breathing again. Right?
And
like,
you're golden, yeah.
Yeah, that's how they sold it to her. And I'm like, well,
right.
that's sound
fucking
enough
solid.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, that's how I spent my morning. That and reading about the national anthem, which is, like, really weird combination of things to do.
It really is.
I don't know. I only got a good maybe week more of this before they start playing horror movies on all the channels again. That's what I'm waiting for.
Right.
Until then, I'm stuck with this. And now it's on commercial. So shit. No update right now, but I'll keep the listeners posted.
All right. Now that it's on commercial, we'll get back to the national
less
anthem.
important stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is true or not, but it just seems that our national anthem may be the only national anthem about war.
I remember hearing that in school, and I don't know. I can't remember if that's true or not.
I meant to look that up before we did this, but then I just forgot. But I'm pretty sure, like, if we're not the only one, there's only like one or two other countries that are, like, so proud about their war heritage that it's their national anthem. Yeah,
because, I mean, everything else is like, hell, even North Korea is, like, their national anthem is just all about their dear leader. Like, I don't think it mentions war, and then, like, of course, God Save the Queen. That's, England. It's about their queen, and then "Oh Canada" is mostly about Canada and how awesome it is.
My least favorite part of that song is when it goes to the French part of the song.
It's just snooty.
It is. It's like, look how awesome we are that we have two languages.
Yeah, that's some real hipster nonsense. Like, they might as well talk about their mustaches and their fixed gear bikes.
Right.
Their fucking indie rock that they listened to before it was cool.
Right, and mimes. Let's just not forget about mimes.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Yeah, what's with that?
I have no idea. The stupid looking hats and their zebra, like, they look like referees from a football game with their shirts.
And they got their white gloves,
Yeah.
like some minstrel show.
Like you
Actually,
can't be a mime without white gloves.
I was gonna say, I bet it was some. I bet black people invented mimes, and that was their white face.
It's possible. That's actually a good theory. We might have to look into that more.
Because it is offensive to me. I never figured out why.
Yeah.
But I am offended by mimes. They're like, oh, look at me, I'm a white guy, I'm trapped in a box. Dumbass crackers.
I actually never looked at it that way before, but now that you mention it, I'm offended too.
Yeah, getting trapped in an invisible box is shit.
Oh my god, that's good. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, I never did until now, but I'm convinced.
I am too. I'm pretty sure that mimes are nothing but a bunch of minorities making fun of whites.
Yep.
And I ain't gonna have it.
Hell no.
That'll have to be our next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think another interesting thing about the national anthem is how it started to be played in sports in general. I didn't really get too deep into it, but it originally started between the Cubs and the Chicago Cubs and the Boston Red Sox in the 1918 World Series.
No shit.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And it wasn't...
I actually thought it started a little later, but that's interesting.
Well, they didn't do it officially. Like, it wasn't a league type thing. It was actually not until around 1931, I believe, when they finally just started making it, like, legit the thing you play before any sports.
No, right, yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just kind of interesting. Like, the national anthem hasn't been part of sports since they began. Like, it's not like that's what we have to do.
Yeah, because I think in football it came a little
Yeah, I think so.
later on. Yeah, because what, God, I cannot remember. I want to say it was like the Packers, and because they were one of the first teams. I want to say it was like the Packers, and like there's two other teams that apparently made a big fuss about even having a national anthem or some shit. I should have wrote that down of all the things I read. Like, now that's the one that I'm find most interesting.
What I've noticed about doing this podcast is how many times I've read something that I didn't think was relevant, and then we started recording, and I was like, that's so relevant right now. Like, I should have written that down.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like anything special that's going to be necessary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it happens.
It happens to the best of us.
So I was reading about Francis Scott Key, because all those Revolutionary War era, I should say, because it was about Star Spangled Banner's about the War of 1812, or as I like to call it, the war that nobody bothered to name.
It's very true.
Yeah, and
We forgot to name it. Yeah.
yeah.
What year did it take place in? I think it was like 1812. Got it.
Boom, go to lunch.
Lunchtime.
Yeah. But I don't know, all those founding father types of people were really complex and interesting. And I was reading about Francis Scott Key. That was not the case for him. He was a pretty boring guy.
Yeah. He was a lawyer?
Yeah, he was a lawyer. He was originally going to be a pastor.
And that's pretty much it.
No, that really honestly is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was not a interesting guy. He died when he was like 60-something.
Of boredom.
He had way too many. Yeah. He had like 9 kids.
Jesus.
One of them was boning like some mayor's wife, and he got shot to death. Yeah, that was...
You know when you have 9 kids and one of them gets shot to death, you still have 8.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why you had so many kids back in those days, because like most of them were probably going to die.
Right. Did you know we're not actually living longer as humans?
Really?
Yeah. The reason that our average lifespan has increased is because more people are making it through birth.
Oh.
So we're not actually like, we used to live until we were 60 and now we're living till we're 70. It's just the average is being brought up because more people are surviving childbirth, both baby and mother.
That's interesting. Yeah, I could see how that would actually make a huge difference as far as the numbers go.
The more you know.
Here's the thing about Francis Scott, like, because specifically, the Star-Spangled Banner is about the Battle of Baltimore, when the British were invading Baltimore. And, like, everyone kind of knows the story, like the war was going on, and the next morning he saw that, like, the flag was, like, because they had some sort of, like, it was, I don't know, they had some, like, flag for a storm or something. Some shit, and then after the battle, he woke up, he saw the American flag was there, and then he finished his poem about it, and here's the thing, like, there's a battle raging on, like, shouldn't you be out fighting?
No, actually, because he was aboard a British ship.
Oh, was he captive?
He wasn't captive, he was more or less like a negotiator or something. Another thing I meant to write down. He was basically negotiating. I think he was negotiating release of prisoners.
Oh, yeah, I did read something in the article about prisoners. Yeah. Well, then I got, like, totally...
Like, after night fell, they weren't obviously going to, like, release him and let him come back. So he stayed on the boat, and then in the morning, he was like, oh, look, the American flag's still there. Yay. Let me write a poem about it.
Yeah, he sure did write a poem about it. Well, I was around when I started getting sidetracked, because I was reading about, there's like these British ships that had prisoners, and like a few of them were docked on the, they were docked on the dock. That's what you dock. The dock. So,
not to be confused with Doc from Back to the Future.
All right.
Just so everyone's clear.
And then I was reading the ship's name, and like there's the HMS something, probably named after the Queen, and then the HMS something else. And then one of the ships was called the HMS Terror, and I'm like, that is metal as hell.
Damn.
A badass ship name, the Terror.
Don't fuck with that one. Ever.
Yeah, and then I pulled up some article about, like, different ships' names, and then I'm like, why am I looking this up? It has nothing to do with it.
It's so easy to get sidetracked when doing this.
Yeah, it really is, yeah. If anything, it's harder to stay on track.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Which is a good segue back to... So yeah, yesterday, 9/24/2017, if you're listening to this in like 2085,
Right.
3 teams protested by not taking the field at all. It was the Steelers, Titans, and Seahawks, as we kind of mentioned earlier. But yeah, like, I think I wanted to reiterate the fact that one of the Steelers players was a former Army Ranger and went onto the field, who was the only person from the Steelers to stand for the national anthem. and I don't see a reason why people have to stand behind him or insult him or whatever. He's just doing what he has the right to do, which is the same thing as everyone who's kneeling for the national anthem. It's the First Amendment right to do that.
Yeah. Just like that, people don't seem to understand that. Like, you complaining about it is the same thing. You're just exercising your First Amendment right.
Exactly.
And people really don't understand that. Even places like France and England, like, they don't have the right to free speech. We really are like the concept of free speech is pretty alien, like, to the rest of the world.
Right.
Like, because France has a lot of, like, censorship laws and shit.
That I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, like, most of Europe has a certain degree of, like, censorship, especially in Germany. Obviously, like, anything involving, like, Nazis or fascism, like, there's... Yeah, definitely a lot of laws.
They don't have a bunch of Hitler statues up there?
Unfortunately, no. I'd visit Germany a lot more if they did.
That's interesting. I wonder why they don't have, and we seem to be so fucking connected to our... never mind. I'm getting sidetracked and pissed off. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's fine that he did that. I don't think anyone should be pissed off at him for doing that.
No.
I don't think anyone should be pissed off for kneeling either.
No, and frankly, I actually like what the Steelers did, or at least tried to do, which was like, no, this is stupid. We're just staying out of this. We're just going to hang back. You guys do whatever.
Yep.
Like, the national anthem also is just like anything that is like a ritual where people have to do something like in a particular way with their body and they chant together. It just gives me the creeps, no matter what it is.
Right. Like to different degrees. I know what you're saying. I don't feel it that strongly, but I definitely feel like where you're coming from.
Well, I think patriotism is pretty important, but there's just something really culty about it that I don't like.
Yeah. There's definitely a line somewhere that it's too much.
Yeah.
Like, it's possible to be too patriotic, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. That's when it gets just creepy.
And I'm not sure where that line is. I don't know if we've crossed it. I don't know. Maybe that's why this is such a big issue. It's because it's going too far. You're getting pissed off at an athlete for demonstrating his right to free speech.
Right.
Because you're too patriotic to see why he's doing it. Maybe. That's just my theory. I don't know.
I just, oh yeah, no, what I was going to say, the thought that I had, is that, like, what just gets me is, like, all these angry fans at the Steelers themselves for, like, not going out. Like, this is, I really think that's the most, like, neutral move you could possibly do.
Right.
Stay the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
And that's what they tried to do. Like, see, that's just so funny when people do the perfect move to just not upset anybody and then end up upsetting more people.
No matter what you say or do, you're going to piss off somebody.
Yep.
As sad as that is. Like, I understand that our podcast isn't going to make everybody happy, but even if we tried, even if we, like, put together the most uplifting, happy podcast on the planet, there'd still be some asshole who'd be like, it's too happy, turn it off.
Oh no, that would 100% be me.
Yeah.
I would absolutely be that asshole.
You'd be like bashing the podcast you're on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's fucking too cheery.
Yeah. You can't please everybody.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why I think they should just, like, I don't know, like, just wear swastika armbands. Like, you're right, you got a good point. Like, they can't please everyone, so they might as well just piss everyone off.
Yeah.
Like, they could do, okay, here's what they should do. And here's how I'm going to dress for that one. I'm going to have a swastika armband on one arm, and then a Black Lives Matter armband on the other, and then on my head I'm going to have like a rainbow flag headband.
Boom.
Yeah. So that everyone's like, what the fuck? Oh, well, huh.
Just not sure what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I posted something on Twitter last night. It was... Hold on, let me try to find it really quick. It was, swastikas were drawn on a World War II memorial.
Oh, boy.
And I posted something along the lines of, years later, historians will see this as the Civil War of the Republican Party. Because they're split. They're like, swastika's good, memorial's good. We don't know which side to take now.
Yeah, they're not. That is going to confuse the shit out of future historians.
Yeah. So, forgot what I wanted to go to next.
Yeah, I was going to say my Francis Scott Key fun fact list was non-existent because there were not a lot of fun facts. I guess he is like a distant cousin to F. Scott Fitzgerald. That's
pretty much it.
Yep. No, that really is. Like when I texted you earlier and I'm like, yeah, I read the document thing. Like pretty much as soon as for at least a good hour, I was reading about his life and yeah. I thought he would be like Ben Franklin, like later in life when he was just banging college chicks or something like that.
The little known fact that no one wants to know. Yeah, no one wants to picture that. Like, even by, like, I don't know, he was not an attractive man. His glasses were kind of hot. Yeah. His bifocal, yeah. I mean, you gotta give him credit where it's due. He had a pretty bitchin'... He did have the Hulk Hogan haircut almost 200 years before Hulk Hogan did, so that's pretty cool, too. He was wearing it before it was cool. Yeah. Oh, that'd be great if we found out that, like, the Founding Fathers were pretty much just wrestling characters. Like Thomas Jefferson, instead of walking in the meeting hall, he would just kick the door in. Like, let me tell you something, brother. Like have the orchestra play his walk-in song. Yeah. They all got theme music. We'll see you next Sunday night at the ratification, brother. And it's only on pay-per-view. I wanted to also bring up some fun stuff that Richard Petty said. Oh, I forgot about this. This is great. And I quote, "Anybody that don't stand up for the national anthem ought to be out of the country. Period. What got them where they're at? The United States." Nailed it. Yeah, that's a spot-on impression. If I don't even know what that means. Yeah. No, I don't know. But I will say this, when I read that earlier, I did think of one thing, which was, like, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of NASCAR. I don't know when exactly they do the national anthem, but chances are he's probably in his car ready to start the race. Right, so he's sitting. Well, he's retired now, but yeah. The race car driver was sitting. Yeah, when he was, during his race car career, he was probably sitting for most of those national anthems. So, yeah. Which is worse than taking A&E. That's right. So he ought to just get out. He ought to just get out of the country. Period. He ought to take that fucking car of his and drive real fast into Canada. All the other draft dodgers. Like your father. Yeah, like my dad. Like, I don't give a shit if the war ended when you were 12. You could have
have done something. You could have got a factory job.
Did I ever tell you about Comstock, Nebraska had the rock festival?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know I'm familiar with the festival, but...
My father took me a couple years in a row, and I think the last year we went, Leonard Skinner. Let's talk about what Comstock Rock was. Comstock Rock was in the middle of a cornfield in the middle of Nebraska, and it was a huge classic rock festival. It was like 4 days in a row.
Yeah, I would have liked to have gone because, I mean, they did get some pretty awesome bands.
Huge names, like huge classic rock names. But the very last night,
who was there when you were there? There was like Pink Floyd and like Led Zeppelin. You saw the Who.
I saw Grand Funk Railroad.
Close.
I saw Leonard Skinner. Def Leppard.
Oh. That reminds me, real quick. This guy was talking to was telling me about how he saw Leonard Skinner, and probably like, I think their best like ballad was the ballad Curtis Lowe. I fucking love that song.
Yeah.
But you know how in the song it's like, old Kurt was a black man. Well, this dude was telling me how he saw Leonard Skinner in concert, and then not only did the lead singer change the word to old Kurt was a white man, but he emphasized the word white.
Oh,
and the guy was like talking about how just disappointed he was in that. It's like, come on.
Right.
Have some respect for the original lyrics. And not only that, it's about an old Southern... How many old Southern, like, white blues musicians were there? Like, how many white Delta blues musicians were there in, like, the 40s and 50s? None?
1.3.
Yeah.
No,
anyway.
But I'm pretty sure it's between 0 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but speaking of Skinner, so the very last night of the festival, Leonard Skinner is the headlining band. They're the last of the last. And, of course, they had to play Freebird, right?
Yeah.
And this, I swear to God, this is true. I'm not making this up to be funny. This is an actual true story. So, the drunk-ass redneck next to me, as soon as Freebird comes on, like, looks at me and, like, kind of stumbles into me, and he's like, "This song's my national anthem, man." And I asked him, "What nation are you from?" And he just looked at me like he had no idea what I was saying. Like, I was dying. I died, like, the whole ride home from how far, "This song's my national anthem, man."
The worst part about that is that there's no way that was an isolated incident.
No. That's true. There's probably many people who have that same story.
Oh, God, yeah.
I was in disbelief. I was like 16, 17 at the time. Like, I wasn't even old enough to drink. I think I was still in high school, to be quite honest. But, yeah. I couldn't believe people were that dumb.
Song was my national anthem.
Like, he was so proud of it, too. Like, you could just tell, like, this was the song that defined his life.
Yeah. Like, how many times that he just had a couple warm beers and a good cry listening to that song.
Driving in his Grand Am down the highway.
Oh, yeah.
Drinking his beers.
Back when men were men, or some shit.
Right. But yeah, those are the people who were pissed off at this whole situation. So.
Yeah. Yeah. That does bring up the fact that I've been saying for years that we need a new national anthem. I mean, the one we got now, that's really not something, like, they have that at the beginning of sports. Who gets fired up when they hear the national anthem?
Well, let's just review. The song itself is a poem written by a boring person.
Yeah.
And the melody is a British drinking song. So I'm pretty sure that we've got enough evidence to say we need a new national anthem.
Absolutely.
What's your suggestion? You got one? You got a couple?
Absolutely. That song from Sesame Street that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, it's perfect. I'll tell you why. One, it teaches people how to count to 12.
Boom.
So it's educational.
Fundamental.
Yeah. I mean, it really has 12 words. Like, the song has 12 words, and they go in an order that will make it so you can't forget the words.
Right.
Like, that's easy.
But it also, going back to the education part, it also ensures that our society always knows how to count to 12. That's never going to be a problem.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's educational.
They're always going to know what a dozen is. It's kind of funky. It's got a little funk. It's a jaunty tune.
Right. It's nice, kind of uplifting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll put that in the background.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, as soon as people hear it, they're going to agree with me.
Right. Let's just say they don't, though. Let's say they think, what a stupid idea. Do you have a backup?
Yeah. Probably the theme song to Home Improvement.
Which also great tune.
Yeah. I mean, not for any particular reason. It's not even the best TV theme song.
I don't want to argue that point because I think it's a great song, but I also want to suggest the Full House theme song.
Oh, yeah.
Only because it has a bitchin' saxophone solo.
If we're talking about bitchin' saxophone solos, the national anthem really should be the theme song to Night Court.
Very true. I would stand for that song.
Or maybe, that could be like a battle song, like a marching song.
True.
Like what Our Country 'Tis of Thee. We could scrap that and just replace it with the Night Court theme song.
Yeah. I'm down.
Yeah, and then the Home Improvement theme song, actually maybe we should just replace, instead of that, it'll just be 2 minutes of Tim the Toolman Taylor grunt sounds.
Yes.
I think 2 minutes of just people going, I think would be a better song than the current national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor our great country, please stand and remove your hats for the singing of our national anthem. Ooh. Yes. I like that idea.
Right?
There's nothing offensive about it. There's nothing about war. No. It's just straight up Tim Allen making a bunch of noises.
It's not even a language, so you can't
can't be offended.
Yeah, it's not in Spanish. What are foreign people? Anybody from any part of the world could understand that. Yeah.
Dude, I think we're on to something.
Now that I think about it, that Home Improvement theme song is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I was listening to it the other day. I don't know why. I was just listening to old TV theme songs. I listened to that one a few times in a row. That's actually the guitar on that's actually pretty awesome.
I'm gonna have to put just a few clips.
Of music. If you get the extended, if you find the extended version, that song that really shreds.
Yeah. Really quickly here, I wanted to.
I don't know if there's anything else we didn't talk about.
I did want to say just a quick fuck Trump for turning this into a political issue that now I have to watch it on ESPN.
That sucks.
I watch sports strictly for the escape of everything else around me. I don't watch sports as much as I used to. I've got too much shit going on to follow every player and every team and stats but I watch NFL every week.
Yeah, and it's nice to have you could just, if you're doing something, maybe you got to research something, you could just throw on ESPN in the background.
Right. But now,
well, can't do that.
Yep, asshole had to ruin that for me. And I wanted to say one thing. Not only did I watch NFL yesterday, I didn't boycott it, I watched it. I watched NFL Red Zone, which is, it shows you every single game. Like, whoever's in the red zone, they'll send you to that game. So not only did I watch NFL last night or yesterday, I literally watched every single fucking game. Bam.
And then you have to deal with that shithead.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing. Did you see that Kaepernick's mother tweeted?
About how she's a proud bitch.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was fucking classic.
I did enjoy that, yeah.
All right. Well, we got a good...
So,
go ahead.
I was going to say, so yeah, now we ruined football for you.
Yeah, they've ruined fucking sports. Because
really?
ESPN was on last night, and they had a picture of the White House, and they had the Trump speech. Like, no, stop it.
Yeah, luckily I play a lot of video games, and I play them offline. Like I usually just play Fallout, so
right.
I'm hoping that can't get ruined. I could imagine like I'm exploring some building, and then there's like Donald Trump.
Wouldn't you just like to fire those sons of bitches?
Yeah. I was trying to think of something funny to say, but
Asshole.
I didn't.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Trump.
It just pissed me off because I was just imagining. That's probably what I'll end up doing when I get home tonight, is playing some Fallout. And then I just imagine, like, just to go into some abandoned building and explore and loot shit, and then I just see him. The post-apocalypse is terrific. I told you it was going to be great.
This is the best apocalypse ever.
Yeah. This is the best apocalypse ever. Can't see any sun. There's no nuclear radioactive clouds.
It's snowing acid.
Yeah.
Did I make America great again or what? Stupid asshole.
There's nothing.
You know, I used to always, like, even when I was young and naive, all the way until our last president, like, if presidents made me upset or angry, I would, like, calmly say, oh, I kind of think he's kind of dumb for saying this, or I think it's a bad idea to do this. But this guy, I've never said fuck you to a president in my life. But this guy gets it.
Yeah, like, because of course, I don't want the country to fail. I don't necessarily want the president to fail. I was hoping he would do a good job.
Exactly. That's, I think, why there's so much rage. We don't want him to fail. We don't want him to fuck up the country so bad that he has to get impeached. I would rather Trump had a great presidency and did make America great again. I would love to see that.
Yeah. If we were just like flourishing greatly and we were getting along with every other country, then I don't mind that I told you so coming from him, but
right.
Yeah.
I haven't seen shit so far.
No.
The only thing I can say I agree with him on at all is he finally kind of started to come around to the DACA issue.
Oh, did he?
But nothing has been signed, nothing has been official, so until that happens, I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Nothing surprised me from this asshole. Nothing.
Yeah, that's the worst part. Like, it only gets worse and worse, and then like.
Yeah. I guess I should say I haven't been surprised in a positive way yet.
Yeah. That's actually a good way to put it.
Yeah.
In a positive way.
Well, I reckon.
Yeah, I should probably throw my stuff in the dryer, get ready for work. I only got to go in for like 4 hours. It was one of those things where I didn't even have to, but then like my coworker asked me to, and I'm like, I really didn't have anything else to do today except this.
Right.
I only had this to do, and that was going to be before like 5 anyway. So I'm like, all right, 4 hours, I can do that.
Yeah.
I got when I went for my court thing. Of course, I didn't come back empty-handed, so I got like some edibles. So I might have to take a couple of those. which usually I avoid doing just because I think it's a waste. So then I just get bored.
Yeah.
I just get introverted and I want to read. Like, but then I figure for 4 hours, I'm like, that actually might be kind of fun.
Well, all right, good sir. One last thing before we leave. I wanted to, I came across while I was editing this episode a really well-written, thought-out post from a poker player that goes by the name of D Moon Girl. I'm going to leave this in the description of the podcast. It's really well written. I really just wanted to get people over there because it's everything. I feel like everything we missed on this podcast. So check that out. I want to say thank you to D Moon Girl. Also, like I said at the beginning, you can check out our Patreon page. I'll link that as well. Thanks everyone again for listening. We really appreciate the love, the comments, the tweets. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you next time.